What's up, everybody? It's been a long time. I hope you've all been doing well. I wanted to make a video with the release of Black Ops 7 and the integration into Warzone. Mostly just talking about the assault rifles that are in the game now and how they stack up. So this video I'm going to go over the plans for TGD, the assault rifles, and how they stack up, which ones I think are the best, as well as the best builds, with some build codes for you guys to copy over into your game. But let's jump into it and we will talk about the assault rifles. So what are the future plans for TGD? Basically, I know I've been kind of AWOL, at least from YouTube, but I've still been keeping the website up to date for the most part. It's been a little slower than it used to be, but the plan is essentially to keep it up to date forever for Call of Duty, as long as that's feasible. I don't have any plans to stop, even though I'm not really involved much anymore. I still do all the updating and stuff myself for Call of Duty, but so yeah, Black Ops 7 multiplayer is going to be coming soon. We've actually partnered with XclusiveAce for that, so as soon as I get that up on the site, he's going to be the one maintaining the data, which is going to be awesome. So anytime you guys use the site for Black Ops 7, you'll be directly supporting him as well as me at the same time. Really excited about that. Hope that works out well. And then Warzone, I'll be continuing to maintain, like I said, but I'm also not making as much content or anything anymore. But I do want to keep the website up to date for the whole community, as long as it seems like it's a feasible thing to do. I had talked about Battlefield 6, putting that on the website, and I was cooking some things in the background for that, but unfortunately that did not work out. So I don't know what the plans for Battlefield 6 are. It is very difficult to manually test in that game currently. I just need to do some more investigation to see if that's going to be possible down the line, but for now, Battlefield 6 is on hold, unfortunately, but maybe someday. So as of right now, Battlefield 7 data in Warzone is on the site. You can see the guns are here. They are not perfect yet. The attachments are not perfect. I noticed that like the last 3 guns here, I did all this with OCR through programming, so there's some mistakes that still have to be ironed out here. The last 3 guns have like the wrong attachments completely. They're for a different gun, so I'll be fixing that over the next few days. But a lot of the attachments are correct, and I believe the base data is all correct, especially the damage data and RPM, things like that that lead to like time to kill numbers. Those are all correct, so you can trust those. Today I'll be using the True TTK Simulation tool with these new weapons and attachments to try to figure out what I think the best ARs are in the current meta. In the future, MetaGen will be updated again to use new weapon data for Battlefield 7, but that is not up on the website yet. That will be coming though, and I know 6 months ago or something I promised MetaGen 2.0 at the end of the month, and life happened, so that did not happen, and it's been put on the back burner. I do still want to finish that someday, but I'm not going to give any sort of date because I don't want to keep giving you guys bad information. So I do still want to finish it. I just don't know when that's going to happen. I kind of got so delayed that it got to the point where I just kind of wanted to wait for Battlefield 7, or sorry, Black Ops 7 to come out and integrate into Warzone, because I wanted to see if there were going to be any massive changes to the way the guns worked or anything like that. Seems like there isn't really, so I will be able to finish that now, but I wanted to let you guys know. So what did I do for this video? Basically, I went through all the assault rifles in the game, built them out with what I thought was the best build, and then I went into the firing range. And sometimes in the top left, you'll see, oh, my camera's reversed. So top left, up there, the settings don't start for some reason. So you have to like set your target settings again, and it'll put the stats in the top left of the screen then for you to be able to get the numbers for TGD. But basically, build them out the best I possibly could, and then got my TTK numbers, so you can see the time to kill is shown in the top left. Basically, you just come in here, shoot the target until it goes down, and then pull the TTK number, put it in the True TTK Simulator tool on TGD. Let me pull that up for you guys here. You put it in this box here, and as many trials as you want to do with each gun. This will give you a really good idea of how the weapons actually perform outside of like the theoretical TTK. This will give you actual numbers that you can plug in here, and then you simulate it, and TGD will output simulated time to kill for your exact accuracy percentages based on the time to kill that you input across all the different damage ranges. And then this dotted line that you see, that is your engagement probability line. So it's like how often you're going to get an engagement at a certain distance. So we added skew to this. I never made a video about this, but this has been updated significantly since I stopped making videos. So you can do no skew for that line, where it's just a normal standard deviation, normal distribution. And so this would say that like at the mean of 35 meters, that's where your most likely engagement is. You can move that around to whatever you think it is. And then standard deviation just changes how sharply it's focused around that certain distance. So I like to do like a right skew for a long range because you're typically going to have your SMG out for most close range gunfights. So you can set this right skew and then increase standard deviation a little bit. Something like 35 with a standard deviation of like 15 or 20 probably is pretty standard, like 20. So this means that you're really focused around 35, but you have some engagements down to like 27, but most of them are going to be from like 35 up to 80 meters. So this is a visual representation of where you think your gunfights are happening. And then after you do that, it will output the weighted TTK down here at the bottom for the entire range of this scaled by that probability curve. So it's a really cool, really powerful tool that lets you really know what you specifically are the best with, not what somebody's telling you is the best. You can plug your numbers into this and get really what is best for you. But like I said, I did that for all the assault rifles for myself on mouse and key. And these are the numbers that I got. So you can see the red AK-27 was atrocious for me. I don't think it just got too much recoil. It kills really fast if you hit all your bullets, but I could not build it in a way that would actually allow me to hit my shots. Then the Mark 15 Mod 0, this is the first AR that you get. It's actually pretty good. I found it really accurate compared to most of them. The Maddox RFB, that's the cyan line. Pretty decent, has good TTK up close, but then kind of falls a little bit in longer ranges. The MXR is the green line that did better than most, pretty average as far as the grouping of ones that performed pretty well for me. Not really a standout there. The X9 Maverick, the yellow, did really well for me at longer ranges only. So this is the burst gun. TGD does not have the correct TTK in the comparison tool for this yet, but it still works pretty well in the TTK simulation tool. The reason it's not correct in the comparison tool is because it's a burst gun, so it has these burst timings that I have not implemented yet into the code compared to just a full auto gun, which is a straightforward calculation. So you can trust it for the most part here, but in the comparison tool, it's going to be a little off for now. But you can see it performed really well. This gun felt like it just had basically no recoil to me, so that was a huge benefit because it has very little recoil. You can stack it with bullet velocity attachments, and when you stack it with bullet velocity attachments, you can hit your shots at longer ranges much easier, and the recoil itself was just really easy to control. So X9 Maverick, very good for very long range engagements. DS-20 Mirage, not good at all for me. One of the worst of the pack that did slightly better than the AK-27. And then the Peacekeeper was also awful. So with that all said, if we use this right skew at 35 meter mean, standard deviation of 20, you can see this curve of probability on there. What comes out on top for me? So we got the X9 Maverick at 842 millisecond average, the M15 Mod 0 in second with 918. So for automatic weapons, I actually think the M15 is probably the best. It is just really accurate. It makes it just hard to beat in long range engagements. Maddox RFB at 956, so a pretty big spread here between the top three. Like usually they're closer than that. And again, you should do this yourself if you want to know what's best for you. But this is what I came out with as a mouse and key player. MXR-17 at 970 milliseconds. And then these last three are just really bad. DS-20 Mirage at 1000 milliseconds, AK-27, 1239, and Peacekeeper Mk1 at 1316. True TTK Simulation is a premium feature on TGD, so you do have to subscribe to get that, but I personally think it's worth it if you're a hardcore Warzone player and you want to know what's really best for you, as well as getting all the other features that come with premium on TGD. But let's go through the builds. So the M15 Mod 0, I really liked this optic. This Redwell 30-S2X, because it's a 2X, so it's a lower zoom, which means there's less visual recoil just because it's lower zoom by the nature of lower zoom. But it also comes with the 30% recoil gun kick reduction, so that also helps with that pseudo visual recoil kind of stuff. I thought it was a pretty good optic. And then monolithic suppressor, longest barrel is this reticulated barrel. It gives a huge benefit to bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil, so kind of a no-brainer there. It does slow the gun down, so if you want your gun to be a little quicker to handle, you could use other things. 769 RPM with this gun, so I used the 60-round mag. Felt like it needed it just because it shoots pretty fast. Some of the slower firing weapons you can get away with using a 45-round mag, things like that. You'll see that in this video. And then this stock gives huge benefits to your recoil, 15% recoil and gun kick, horizontal and vertical. So I feel like they kind of nailed the attachments with this game so far, to be honest. Like honestly, this is the first time I've looked at stuff. I don't really play COD anymore, so I just got all the data over the last 2 or 3 days without even really looking at stuff. But for this video, I checked things out, and I think they did a really good job. I think they did a good job with the attachments. They're different than in the past, but they kind of balance each other well. Better than the last game, at least. So yeah, that's what I used. I think this is a really solid gun. Then the AK-27, I'm going to give you the build for every gun. Even the ones that I thought were bad, I'm going to give you what I thought was the best build. So the AK-27 here, we've got the same optic. I just feel like that's a really good optic. Buffer spring for extra recoil help. You can see I stacked recoil attachments. Minus 56% gun kick, minus 42% horizontal, minus 37 vertical. Felt like this really just needed all the help it could get with its recoil. The same longest barrel that this has is the Vandal Heavy. And then, like I said on the previous one, I think you can get away with a 45 round mag on some of these. So the AK only shoots at 682, so I think you can get away with it. It has a really fast reload time with this as well. But if not, you can use the 60 round mag. Next up, the Maddox RFB. We got monolithic suppressor, the longest barrel again. I didn't really look at this. I think this is a burst barrel. I didn't really look at that. It could be good. I don't know. I haven't checked it out. But the longest barrel just tends to be really good on all these weapons. Magazine, this shoots at 690 RPM, so I felt like you could get away with the 45 round fast mag. Try it out. If it doesn't work for you, just use a 60 round mag. But the benefits of using the fast mag are huge. Like way faster reload time, helps all of your movement, helps all of your ADS, jump ADS, things like that. So if you can get away with it, it's worth trying out to use that 45 round mag. The stocks are really powerful in this game, so we got the same control stock for this gun, and performs pretty well. It's not amazing, but I did like it overall. MXR-17, we've got the same optic, monolithic suppressor. You're going to see a trend here. Most of these guns are built the same. The longest barrel, again, this Greaves Scourge barrel. Vault extended mag, 526 RPM, so even lower than the last two that we talked about. So I think with this one, you definitely can get away with a 45 round mag. So that's what I did. I got the 45 round mag instead of the huge drum mag, which slows everything down a ton. And then we've got the same winch stock. This is the control stock. Just helps with the recoil the most of any of the options here. The X9 Maverick. This guy is super accurate, so I felt like it did not need extra help with accuracy. So we've got the same optic. We have monolithic suppressor, longest barrel that helps with damage range, bullet velocity. We got the stock for recoil control just because stock helps a ton with recoil control, so it's a really good attachment to have if you're going to have any recoil help. And then I actually put the overpressured ammunition on here because that gets your bullet velocity up to 1473, which is crazy compared to the other weapons. So this thing is going to be awesome at long range. I want to show you in the firing range that this is still extremely accurate. I mean, it's laser accurate. Like there's basically no recoil, even though I didn't use as many recoil attachments as the other guns. So for like big map, I think this is going to be really hard to beat as an option, even though it doesn't have amazing time to kill theoretically. It really is just so accurate and such high bullet velocity that it's going to probably be the best option or one of the best options. DS20 Mirage, again, found this gun to be awful. We got I had to add extra recoil attachments to this one to try to make it controllable compared to the other ones. So we've got the Redwell compensator. This compensator does just vertical recoil. Needed a lot of help with vertical recoil. Longest barrel for same reasons as always. Magazine, we've got the Griffin Reserve extended mag. This is the 60 round mag, I believe. Yeah, 606. You might be able to get away with a faster magazine, 45 round mag. You can see all those green numbers over to my right here. If you can get away with the 45 round mag, you should try it. But 60 round mag is also an option on this guy. And then for stock, same idea. I'm gonna use that control stock again. Just really needs as much help as it can get. And even with all of these, it still is very difficult to control compared to a lot of the other guns. So I just don't really see this being a super viable gun for long range. And then last up, Peacekeeper Mk1. We've got the heavy barrel, extended mag 2, 60 round mag, 870 RPM. So with this guy, you probably want to use the 60 round mag. stock has a really powerful stock, this Tactical Control Plus stock. This helps with recoil a ton and recoil stabilization, which nobody really knows what that means still 5 years later. What does recoil stabilization mean? If you're a dev, tell me what that means, because nobody really knows what that means still. Seems to be sometimes something to do with visual, but the stats don't seem to reflect it. I don't know. I think they just put it in there to screw with us, but it's basically been that way since the Commando grip back in COD 4. That thing was awesome, had recoil stabilization, but we don't really know what it is. So fire mod, we got the buffer spring. Again, this needed help with recoil. Found that to be the best on this gun. And even with all those, you're going to see that this is not very easy to control. It's just got a lot of like wibbly wobblies back and forth. So I wouldn't really try this. I'll probably change now that we have a 100-meter target. I will probably update the TTK simulation tool to use 100 meters to start the simulation rather than 50. So 50 is what it uses now. So you have to shoot this target to get your TTK number. And then I'm going to probably update it to use that one just so we can see the effect of... In real Warzone, a lot of the time you have worse accuracy than you're going to have on a non-moving target in the firing range. So 100 meters is going to help simulate that better just because you miss more shots because it's further away, smaller target. So we can see what happens in the recoil pattern further in the mag, which is going to be more representative of what actually happens in long-range engagements. So I will hopefully update the TTK Sim tool to use that at some point in the future. But yeah, what do I think are the best? Best automatic, M15 Mod 0 for sure. And then the best burst, X9 Maverick. It's just so cool that you can get 1400 meters per second bullet velocity with this guy. That makes it so it's going to be hard to beat on big map or any sort of main weapon. But overall, I think those are the two best. So what am I doing if I'm not here on TGD, making content, doing other stuff like that? I am going to eventually make content over here on this Next Up Anything channel, so if you want to subscribe there, if you like the content that I make, it's going to be totally different. It's not going to have anything to do with Call of Duty for the most part. It might actually in some ways, because I might cover some things that I've programmed for TGD, explain how they work. I think that could be really cool, but that channel is just going to be anything I want to talk about that I think is interesting, that I think will either be helpful for people or interesting or fun or whatever I want to talk about. I get really into different things, so I wanted to make a channel where I can just talk about whatever I feel like talking about. And I think that it could be really cool. So I'm working on that. I'm working on multiple other projects, some of which are going to be announced on this channel eventually. They're not out yet. Some of them are just small tools, things that'll be useful outside of Call of Duty. Other ones are much bigger projects, so we'll see when those come out. But yeah, the plan is just to keep working on TGD, keep it up to date, and then keep building these other things on the side. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see if I keep making more content on COD. I'm not sure. I would like to, but I'm really trying to get other things started in my life besides true game data, so I just don't have that much time right now for it. But I would like to make some videos just so I can stay relevant in the space and keep, you know, you guys are subscribed, so I'd like to make content for you that you can watch. But yeah, hope you've all been well in the last few months that I haven't been around, and I will see you in the next video.